Bitboy seriously needs to be stopped. And not because I want it to, because honestly, this is the best entertainment in crypto I might have ever seen. I honestly think this man was a born entertainer, and him getting arrested today and later on released by bail or for bail, on bail, whatever. It's a story and a half, but the more videos I'm seeing though, the more I keep thinking perhaps this is going from funny to completely sad and he's just losing his mind.
Crypto! Hey, ask me how I'm doing. Ask me how I'm doing. Go ahead, ask me how I'm doing. I'm doing better than ever right now while I know that my boss has basically extorted and blackmailed and launched a freaking coup.
I mean, him getting arrested today was by far the most unhinged, crazy video I've seen in the crypto space. And I think that this man on his own is bringing more attention to crypto than anybody else. Michael Saylor, who? Elon Musk, who? Because every video I'm seeing has got hundreds of thousands of views. And I can't even play it because it's just this crazy. And honestly, it's also from two sides. I made a video earlier talking about the truth of the situation, which is we don't know if this is all for entertainment. Ben has done some very questionable things in the past, and so perhaps this is all deserved. On the opposite side, I mean, if you've built a company from the ground up and people are stealing everything from you, even though you have a majority ownership, I don't think that should be allowed, even though that's all, quite true and ongoing. We don't know the most of it. I mean, this video right here that I'm showing you is, for example, something that Carlos, another, person on the opposite side of Bitboy posted. And the long story short of it is that you can see Bitboy knock on the door, ring the bell. And then quickly afterwards, right, while he is sharing in his own video that the guy basically starts running away or something like that. In reality, well, the video shows the opposite. Let's see.
I go knock on the door, and you know what he does? He turns and he runs because he's a pussy.
Which again shows that we really don't know much, because it looks as if this is kind of all a show. I mean, guys, please know that I'm not joking here when I say this is the peak of entertainment in crypto. If you didn't see it yet, there's also a video out there where he's basically getting arrested because he's in front of the guy's house who basically has his Lamborghini right now and he's trying to get it back. That's what part of that story was about. And I'm not playing the audio because I'm not sure if he curses too much or does anything crazy, but I'll give you guys the rundown. All right, they ask him, hey, have you got something on you? Have you got something with you? He then takes off his bag because they just want to pat him down and things like that. But then, after a little while, the funniest thing in the world happens. He says, hey, I've got a little pew pew in my car. So he's trying to go get his vehicle back from the guy that, took it basically with a pew pew in his car, which is interesting. Yeah, I'm talking about a motherfucking gun in his car. The cop, after a little while, asks him, hey, because you've got a little gun in the car, who else is in that car? And it's funny enough, but it's his, it's the girl he had an affair with. And I don't like hate watching, but I want you guys to watch this because at the end of the day, he streamed this live for everybody to see, so I do believe he still wants everybody to see it. It's already got 200,000 views over on Twitter for this video, but in total, I think it's already got millions of views, so let's just quickly watch it.
Where in the car is your gun?
It's in the back seat.
Back seat?
Yep.
Is anybody else in the car?
Yes, there's in the car.
Who's in the car? Who?
What's that?
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Yes.
Okay. Let's,
Who's in your car?
who's in my car?
Who's in your truck, sir?
Cassie is in my car. Cassie's in my
All
truck.
right, Cassie.
Cassie's in my truck. My wife knows that we're here, by the way. She knows we came to do this. But my wife is aware. So we're live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
We got about 2,500 people watching. So Cassie is a girl I had an affair with. She's involved in the situation with me and this guy here. My wife knows. We were just at my daughter's tennis.
So hopefully you can understand how this is interesting. And there's actually another guy, Crypto Bidlord, very well known in the crypto community. He actually also just said, from the bottom of my heart, I'm calling for more donations to Bitboy. As again, he's basically requesting donations because he wants his Lamborghini back. He deserves it more than anyone right now. And he makes the video saying, guys, this is peak entertainment. Give this guy some money. Look at what he's doing for crypto. And I mean, is it really wrong? 𝗕𝗃𝗪𝗔𝗪, of course, is also on the case. 𝗕𝗃𝗪𝗪 was one of the guys that covered when Bitboy sued 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪, or 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪, I think, and how that basically backfired. But 𝗕𝗃 is now saying, you don't understand how unhinged this really is. Ben just showed up at an ex-employee, Carlos's house, who he accuses of stealing his Lambo, who he basically said online can stop from getting criminal charges pressed if he just gives the car back, which following the law is not really allowed the way he did it. He decides to bring a weapon and the woman he cheated on his wife with. Ben also decided to live stream it on YouTube with the title, "Live Streaming from Carlos's House Where My Lamborghini Is." And the memes that spewed out of this were funny as too much fun. But what no one is talking about is the craziest part. Ben scheduled the live stream ahead of time, meaning Carlos saw this coming miles away, and surprise, surprise, called the police, who immediately arrested him. What in the world? So that is indeed not that smart, unless, again, that's why I said at the start, we don't know how these things work, because I've said this at the start. What if more of this was done purely for content? So I'm not saying that Bitboy is not in a really tough spot, even though some will say he deserved it, some will say, no, this is not right. That's besides the point. But in theory, we don't know if he just called the police on himself to get content, right? Wouldn't be the craziest thing people have done. Again, I am not saying that. I'm not saying he's in the right. I'm not saying he's in the wrong, because we know too little. It's two sides who are both coming up with the arguments as to why the other are wrong. All I'm saying is this is peak motherfreaking entertainment. Especially like I just said, where he says the opposite side ran away, but then a video shows of him running away. It just makes no sense. Again, the reason I said at the start he might need to be stopped is because, as I've said before, you might think the guy's done some bad things. You might think he's scammed tons of people. You might think he's the best crypto entertainer out there. Regardless of your feelings, regardless of what you think about the man, it is clear this is affecting him too much. And let's be real for a second. Let's say you've built a company for half a decade, right? You trusted your employees to the core with everything you've ever had, with all your information, all your money, and all of a sudden, everything has slipped away from you. Once more, regardless of what brought him there, if we just kind of push that away, you might say you can't push it away. It doesn't matter. If we only look at the truth of these specific statements, losing your company, being extorted for your car, losing your friends, getting caught cheating, again, you might say, well, he deserved it. That all happening to you, and it's such a quick succession, it can really break your head. At the same time, the steroids, at the same time, apparently these unhinged diet pills, and stress from being at the top of the top, working with so much money, dealing with tens of millions of dollar deals, it can break a man, you know? And so what I'm saying with he needs to be stopped is just, this guy, in my opinion, needs some people that really care for him, which there were. I mean, honestly, guys, I personally think there were many guys like the 𝗕𝗀𝗪𝗿 brothers and 𝗕𝗏𝗏 that really cared a lot for Ben deeply. But then perhaps this is what greatness sometimes does to you. This is what attention might do to you. He turned his back on them hard, and he went on a little tangent to say how bad of a person 𝗕𝗏𝗏 was, another crypto content creator. In my opinion, these are, especially the 𝗕𝗀𝗪𝗿 brothers, these are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. It's hard to not like them. It's hard to see them do any wrong to anybody because they're so passive and so sweet. And so I think by Ben now saying, hey, you're not supporting me, you choose the other side, you're good, he's stabbing his actual supporters in the back a lot who are just trying to get to the objective truth, because again, the situation is so difficult. He's saying one thing, the opposite side is saying some things, and everybody's just trying to find out the truth, and everybody wants the best for, well, what's right. But it's hard to figure out what's right when you're only hearing one side and it doesn't all make sense. So I can't blame these guys for also looking at the other side, and potentially they texted Ben a lot, but he never responded because, well, he's busy, right? Because you can see him tweeting. I mean, the memes are severe, by the way, but I agree for the most part with Blockchain BB here. You should take a break from everything, Ben. You're just becoming a laughing stock at this point. I don't agree with that part. Not sure if this is your strategy to stay relevant, but take care. Again, the responses are logical, and Daryl also has a point. His stock is rising in my book because I personally think he's way funnier than ever before. But I personally think you should take a break from everything and just figure these things out a little bit more privately, because perhaps everything he's doing on the internet is just incriminating himself more. And at the end of the day, it might just turn into you could have had everything if you weren't this irrational and just figured everything out with lawyers and with, proper care. On the opposite side, again, the stream was freaking gold, like digital gold is just amazing content-wise. But I do wonder, who do you stand with Ben or with the opposite side? Do you hate him? Do you love him? Do you think he's having a rough time and he doesn't deserve all this? Or do you think he deserves it a lot because he's been a douchebag? Again, everybody can have their own opinion. I see both sides. I understand the people that say, well, he's apparently a scammer. He's done a lot of harm to people. He's never paid anything back. He's just asking for donations to get his Lamborghini back. Not the most noble cause for donations. I also understand the opposite people who are saying, well, everything's being taken from him. It's not the right thing. And perhaps many more people would have succumbed to the same sort of crazy tactics if they'd be at the spotlight this much, and it just messes up with your brain to be having so many employees, having so much money around you, having life move so quickly, so much hatred, so much positivity, just so much. Social media messes you up in the brain a bit. I mean, him going to jail right now, 1 million people see it. That does something to you, right? And I also keep on saying, it's hard to get to the bottom of this truth because the opposite side keeps claiming that they're in the right. Anyway, I will say it again. As a person, I like Ben a lot. I wish him the best. And I personally think he should just take a break because it's getting to him too much. If I ever can, I will definitely hear his side, because from the facts that I've seen from all these different interviews, for the most part, it looks like he's the one telling the truth. And the only video that contradicts that is the one where he's running away, but we don't know full context. And he has not responded to it, so I can't say. I must again say, if I was in this situation, I'd also be pretty desperate because everything is falling below you. Like everything you've ever built is all of a sudden falling away. And so, could be an act of desperation. But like some people said over on YouTube, perhaps it's just time to put the kids first, put the family first, start looking at what you've got instead of what you can have. And like I said, just take a little chill pill. Not an actual pill, perhaps just, sit down on the couch. And trust me when I say, guys, I've been reading every single comment. I always take a look at whatever my fellow community members are thinking. And one of the guys at the top, because that's the only comment I hearted, said that I'm sweeping under the rug everything he's done in the past. I'm not. All I'm doing is putting some nuance out there that even though perhaps some of his actions deserve jail time, it's hard to know the truth of the whole situation. And for people asking what evidence has he been providing, well, he's put up a lot of voice calls as evidence, but he keeps saying more will be coming. And I do believe from the way he's talking about it that he's got, quite a lot of things. Because, if these were his employees, you probably got a lot of records, right? Somebody says, do you really think this is fake? No one would be stupid to destroy such a channel and lose $1 million a month advertiser. This is, again, something I see quite often. And I don't want to sound like a douchebag, but sometimes when I speak, please listen a little bit more carefully. I am not asking you, hey, maybe this could be, I'm telling you, it could very well be faked. Bitboy, if he plays his cards right, can easily earn $2-3 million a month if he really wants to from the extra hype he's getting now. And if he sets it up correctly, the amount of money he'll make is going to be significantly more than anything he's making before. You got to understand that this controversy will get him so much more attention. And even though this might be bad for right now, eventually it'll do him way better if things come right. The only thing is, the reason I said it might not be fake is because they're putting the other side into the ground so much that they'll never be able to work together anymore. So the only thing that could be like a co-op plan is if they both just want to get X amount of millions of dollars and then out, and they want to basically get as much controversy right now and then launch something and then get out with a bang, For example, they've seen, in theory, I'm just putting something up there. Please listen. Don't go commenting yet. Please listen. Remember that Ben coin? Remember some of the other coins that Ben.eth did over on Twitter? He made like $20 million in what? Couple weeks. In theory, it could be so that Ben and the guys are trying to get as much attention as humanly possible. And once they've got 1 million eyeballs on them every day, they launch a crazy project or they launch some sort of fund and against each other. So they've got two different sides to raise money on because they're fighting the other side. And then they've got, boom, $50 million or whatever, and they cash out, never to be seen from again. Is that the best course of action? No. Sometimes people get desperate. I'm just saying it's a possibility. And in no world can you tell me this is not possible, because I'm telling you, attention is a very, very, very addictive drug. And people have done way crazier things for attention. And perhaps, for example, that $50 million deal, the $1 million a month stake deal, actually fell apart already because of some other parts. Or too many people were taking off that pie and Bitboy wants it alone. And so he's just fighting an action even though they're not in the right. And they're saying, no, we want to protect that money. But he's saying, no, I want it alone. So he's making up accusations. On the opposite side, perhaps those are the guys who are saying, hey, some people are getting too much of the pie. We want more. And so they're just putting false allegations against him to kind of cut him out. It's also possible. But at the bottom line, for Bitboy to go this far, I believe he's got some facts, because the way I'm thinking about it is, if you are going to somebody's house like this and everything like that, you got to have some receipts, You can't be doing all this if you got nothing to back it up. You can see the other side, they're not really doing too much. They're just going on interviews. Bitboy is taking it pretty far, which makes me think, man, most likely he's got some juicy things coming. I'll keep you up to date. Well, let me know whose side you're on down below, and let's get back to this a little bit later when we got more updates. Damn.